Hey friends, Corey Kohlmeyer with Advantage Marketing and Confessions of a Marketer.
Woo!
Second episode. I'm here with my friend Shane and with Jesse, and Shane is our art director and Jesse is a graphic designer here at the agency and a brand manager, and both of them work on creative for all of our 40 clients?
Yeah, there's a lot.
Does it feel like more sometimes?
It does. It's easy to break them out.
Yeah, when you start, looking at it, it does seem like there's a lot. So today, I just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about what we do here as an agency for our creative process and for our clients, and just kind of share some of the knowledge that these two really have. Shane has a background. He's been doing graphic design, I think now for 20 years?
Yeah.
So he's very, very well versed in many areas. He's done healthcare and aviation and sports, and his portfolio is amazing. And equally impressive is Jesse. Jesse's a little younger than Shane. She hasn't been doing this quite as long. Sorry, Shane.
Just a wee bit.
Yeah.
I'm on 6 years.
Yeah, she's on 6 years. She's getting there. She's climbing very, very slowly, but she's climbing. So, but Jesse worked for a print shop, which has been great for us because when we do different projects for clients and we're trying to brainstorm about what things we can do. Between the two of you, someone always knows something about what to do on that project.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did a project for a local client, Cincinnati Music, that was really fun. What were some of the things that we did there that you guys really liked?
For the new location? Yeah. I don't know, we did massive window perfs, which are the panels that you can see out of but not into. And so it's like full high-res images that cover up these 3 window panels that they had for an entrance. So that was kind of fun because it's a nice kind of introduction to the space. And so we went a little more modern with it, and they kind of took a little more, just overall a more modern stance and a cleaner look to the new spot. So we kind of got to have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it was, I think, what I kind of liked about that project too is, from my side of it, I can come up with ideas and things that I think might look cool, but you guys, as far as the technical, really take the work out of it for me, which was fun on that project because we actually took Shane and Jesse to Cincinnati, the new location, and they got to look at it, got to see what it was all about, and really come up with some cool ideas to help them with the signage, which is really important.
Yeah, it was like a blank page.
Yeah, it really was.
A building, so got to measure everything and lay it out.
Yeah, it's great to start from the very beginning because then you can kind of have and see the place, because then you have a better idea of really what people are going to see right when they walk in, and work with their budget that way instead of starting small. You can really think big and then scale it down as much as you need to. Yeah,
I think between the two of you and even, the rest of our team, we have a lot of really creative people, but I think the way that your guys' minds work as designers, you kind of see things in a different way.
Right. Yeah. I think we've said that we don't proofread very well because we're more concentrated on the design aspect of
is
stuff.
that the whole reading thing?
Yeah. When you stare at a word long enough, it becomes a shape.
The designers don't know that it's how to read was what I got from that. We'll skip over that. That's for another podcast. So, but yeah, I'm sure when you do look at it, a lot. How have things changed? Especially for you, Shane, in 20
as far
years.
as design, when I started, there wasn't really any online ads. There was websites, but they not as broad spectrum as it is now. So, relearning to see a screen as your print job, or now it's a web job. It's an adjustment, but art's art. It has to look nice, has to be functional for the client. So.
What are some things that you think that people maybe don't realize when it comes to maybe the creative process, or even just kind of what you're saying, like art being art?
I think mainly it's the technicality of what we do, setting up stuff for print. I think if you said bleed to someone walking down the sidewalk, they probably wouldn't know what you're referring to. So
you want to explain what that is, by the way?
Well, you always have shifting on printing, so you have to set up usually an 1/8 inch bleed. So if it does shift on the printer, you don't have a white streak down the right side or left
so it's
side.
basically just extending the color from the print of whatever it is you're printing off to the sides by 1/8 of an inch.
Right.
So I learned that early on because I was like, what do they keep asking me about this bleed thing? Like, what is that? Why do I need to know? But it's important,
Right.
Because it can affect, and and printing is expensive. I mean, there can be a lot of price and cost that goes into that. We know this because we do a lot of it.
Right.
So, as far as what you guys do here, do you want to maybe talk a little bit about all the different kinds of things that go into graphic design, like specifically here at the agency? Because you started going to like digital ads.
Right. I mean, we do anything from brand management, logos, setting up business cards, letterhead, that type of thing, to websites, to newspaper articles, magazine or ads. So
yeah, I mean, I
just
feel
pretty
like
much full spectrum.
I feel like the website piece, both Jesse and Shane really hadn't done much with that previous to Advantage Marketing, but you both have really stepped up in that area for sure. I mean, how do you feel about websites? I think in the beginning you maybe didn't like them so much.
I think once you learn the ins and outs of actually putting the stuff on the screen, then it becomes enjoyable because it's more about design instead of that technical aspect. But
yeah, I mean, so when it comes to all that we do, to touch on that really quick, I think that what is important for people to know is that we are a one-stop shop, and it's better to do it that way because we can control your message and we can control your look and your brand, and you want to be cohesive. And so the fact that we do everything from print and from digital all the way to their website means that we have our hands in everything, and we make sure that everything is cohesive and it has the right message and it has the right look and everything is the same color palette. That's actually a lot more important than you think. Even now, just when you see black and red, most of the time people think Netflix because of how much they've marketed that brand. Mm-hmm. And so color and palette is important. And even just using the same text weight and everything, you don't think that it's important until you go to college and you learn about it there, and you don't realize how quickly you recognize a brand simply by the font that they use. And so if you're having several different people doing several different print jobs for you, they're going to probably most likely use a slightly different hue of color or a slightly different font weight. And that you don't think is important until you see somebody use it so consistently that it's ingrained in your brain. But yeah, so I think when it comes to the fact that now we have our hands in websites, we make sure, because people don't really realize that if you pick a specialized font and a design, it's not necessarily going to be able to be used on a website. You kind of have only a specific amount of, which usually is just the Google fonts that you can use on a website. So if your main font that you've used on all of your print pieces is not something that you can use on your website, it's kind of a big deal and you don't realize it until after the fact. So you're gonna have a completely different look, because if you pick some crazy specialized font for everything else, you don't even get to use that on your website. So we've learned a lot when it comes to that, and when it comes to cohesiveness with matching all of the stuff that we do for print and your website. And yeah, we've learned a lot when it comes to that.
Well, and I was going to bring that up. I feel like, having somebody from start to finish. So if we have a client that we do a logo for, and then we create a website, and then we do their business card, and then we do print collateral. I mean, you said it, cohesiveness. I mean, you've got a theme, someone that understands your brand and understands what you're trying to accomplish. And we're lucky and we're fortunate that both Jesse and Shane do really nice job talking to the clients and trying to understand what the vision is and who their audience is too, because you don't want to you want the colors to match up, you want the font to match up, you want it to all make sense for what it is you're designing for. So it makes a huge difference to know about the clients and their business and their vision. And we talk about it here at the agency. We just kind of did a little bit of a revamp on our website that both of you worked on. And now we just designed some new folders, and we turn around and look, and guess what? We need a new email signature to match those folders and match that website, and some new business cards. So, it really carries through everything within a business on the design side. And I've seen it too many times. I'm sure you guys have heard, like, well, who designed your logo? Oh, like my friend. Oh, okay, well, do they have other formats? Well, no. So
just JPEG.
Yeah.
Embedded in a Word document.
Yeah. Can you use that, please? And the problem with that, which I don't think people understand, and why it can be a little frustrating, is that then that means that someone as talented as Shane has to like redraw and recreate the entire thing. And where he knows how to do it, there's a lot of time and money and effort that goes into that. So, I think when people are thinking about starting up a business and doing something with their branding or promoting a new product or service, it's important to think about where is this going to go and what's going to happen with it and how is it going to be used, and is someone else going to be able to use it?
Yeah. So, and applying it to the real world. I think that's what years of doing it really, like somebody who's first couple years out is going to quickly realize that a lot of the designs that you come up with don't really work in the real world. Like, are you going to be able to apply that fancy logo to, like, let's say a cutout vinyl decal on your car? Or is it way too complex that you're never going to be able to? Or are you using a million different colors? And so to get that printed on a t-shirt, is that even going to show up right? The colors and the layers, and are you going to be able to make a one color logo out of what you made? So if you're having somebody make it that doesn't have that experience and expertise and hasn't been able to work through it in the real world, you're probably going to have a redesign anyways.
Which costs a lot more money and time down the road and whatnot. So
I think one good point to make is when businesses go out and look for a marketing agency, it might be a little bit intimidating. But from our standpoint, we feel like we're an extension of your company. So, we work for you.
I mean, as far as clients go, Shane, you and I have worked together for a really long time, and you were a client of mine at one point.
Right.
And so as far as, kind of that relationship, you talk to a lot of the clients. I mean, it's not just me, it's not just Amy, my business partner, and both of you really deal a lot with the client, just that you understand what's happening and what's going on.
I don't even know if we could quantify the amount of experience that we have throughout the office. I mean, it's a lot in different aspects that are all equally as important. So,
what do you think as far as current clients? I mean, what's been some of the favorite projects that maybe you've been able to collaborate with them on?
I think I enjoy doing the event things. We do logos and stuff for a local organization for their events, and it's just fun seeing those events be successful. So.
Yeah, like it's one thing to be stuck in the back room in our little dark offices and create an
It's not that dark.
We like it dark. We keep it dark.
There are bars on the wall. I will say there are bars on the wall. I didn't notice that till Shane said something. He's like, I have bars on my windows. But those were there before we got here.
Yeah.
So we work out of an old building. And there's just some fun little things that we won't talk about all of them right now.
No, but working and staring at a screen and creating this entire portfolio for this event or this specific company or organization puts on is one thing, but it's really exciting to get to actually maybe attend the event and see it plastered everywhere. Like, I did that banner, I did that handout, I did that t-shirt, and it's really exciting. Especially, I remember the first time that I went to Vine, I think it was 2 years ago.
Vine is an event that one of our clients, Botanica, has. It's a very upscale fundraising event. It's really, really a beautiful
so
event.
I think 2 or 3 years ago would have been the first time that I would have went after creating everything for it. And so that, I think, was actually the first event that I'd been to where I designed everything for. And that I had actually started that before the companies even merged together. And so it was probably one of the more wild things.
Because I think we let you come to it. Because you did all the let you come. I shouldn't have said it that way. But we invited you to go because you had designed so much of it. And I think you were like, hey, I designed that poster.
It's cool.
Oh my gosh, I designed that. So
and I still geek out on that.
Oh, I still tell people all the time. We were at another event where we, worked on a cup, and the girl, I was like, can I have a couple of those? And she's like, yeah, sure. I said, yeah, we did that. We made that. And they're like, oh, really? I'm like, yeah. She's like, well, you should have a couple then. I'm like, I know, right?
Yeah, my 17-year-old son still to this day riding around town, if he sees a billboard, he's like, Dad, did you make that?
I know.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
Well, Shane was sweet enough. I have a 9-year-old Henry, and he really wanted to know how design happens and what goes on with that. So Shane brought him back to the dark room with the other designers and took a picture of him and put him on like a like a background with an Advantage Marketing logo, I think.
Yeah,
and,
I think so.
Yeah, and Henry was like, "Can we run that? Can that billboard go somewhere?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it could, but that costs money, and you're not like 18 or anything fun like that. So maybe like 16 or 18, we'll have to find that
birthday?
artwork." Yeah,
that's right. I remember that.
yeah. So it was really, really cute. And then another year they made passes. So I mean, they can do anything. These two, they come up with all sorts of things. They're award-winning and very intelligent. So. Yeah, I mean the graphic design piece. I don't think I ever realized how much and how important it was when I started the agency. You know, I was really focused on media buying, and then it was like, oh snap, I need a logo. Hey Shane, what would that cost? And he was like, well, I'll cut you a deal. So I was like, okay. And this is before he was a client of mine at the time, so he designed. We went through several iterations. I don't know if you remember back and forth.
I think it started with a circle and a cursive A.
Yeah.
I think is what it was orange and white, if I remember right.
Something like that.
It's been a while.
And so the reason I stuck on what I stuck on is because at heart I'm a Star Trek geek. And so if you've noticed, our logo looks a little Trekkie-ish. And I was like, that's it. That's the one. But we've even had to redo some things on that logo to make it work in some spaces, which I don't think we really ever, at that point, I wasn't thinking about. But, I just needed it on letterhead and a business card so I could get out there and get my thing going.
Yeah, it evolves depending on the project for sure. Like if you're going to be embroidering something, like that's where we usually have to thicken up a certain font or what have you, enlarge it. And
and what I like about kind of what we do here, which, we'll make it visual. So we'll take a hat and we'll put the logo on it, or we'll just on paper, and then like a letterhead.
Virtual.
Virtual. So that way people can see what it's going to look like and kind of get that feel for, okay, maybe this isn't the right way. And we try to steer people to the right direction as far as what's going to make sense long term, fiscally. I mean, making sure that we're mindful of what their goals are, and because redesigns can get kind of pricey long term and whatnot. And if you're lucky, what you'll just have to do is just freshen up a logo, not have to do a complete redesign.
Yeah, I experienced those. We had a couple of companies that did a complete rebrand rename when I was working at the print shop that I was working at prior. And when I see the invoice at the end of all the stuff that we had to reprint, all the trucks that we had to rewrap, and all the, even just the smallest thing as a parking sign, everything gets redone. It's hundreds of thousands of dollars. It's insane. Yeah. So making sure that you do it right the first time is really important.
Yeah, and I feel like we're very good about just here checking with the client and getting approval, and we have a process for all of that so that we can stay organized, but then the client's also part of the process. So it's very collaborative. It's very much a partnership. It's not just a, throw it to us, hot potato, and we get to handle it. So
it's easier for us that way too, because I'd much rather get like even almost a Pinterest board sent to me of what your inspiration is, versus, nothing to go off of. The collaborations, even just between me and Shane, collaborations are just much better. They come out better when you all work together.
Well, I feel like the communication here as an agency is really good. I do like to mess with you guys every now and again and tell you that I hate something. I don't like that.
I learned early on to have a pretty thick skin.
Oh yeah.
And it's easy to get your feelings hurt when you first start out and someone says, I don't like it. And I'm like, well, I put in like 8 hours on it.
Well, and know that I'm always joking when I do that to you guys, just because I know that, it's when someone says they don't like something, it's like, what do you not like about it? So that way that helps me give direction as to where to go. But as far as designers, both of you have a very thick skin. I've worked with some really sensitive people in the past, and it was like, it's not you. It's, at the end of the day, we got to take care of the client and handle their vision and dream the way that it needs to be handled. So if that means that we're going to, do an all black whatever and it's a little different, then we may have to make some concessions and have those hard, tough conversations.
Well, I think it's good to challenge our abilities, because it's only going to make you better in the long run, and your peers better. And
I feel like that with the clients. I feel like we do try to challenge them too, to a degree, as far as outside of the box, and just like, I get that maybe you don't understand this, but let us put a couple things together, and then let's look at it and kind of see where we can go we can handle it.
I think a lot of times, especially in the beginning, a lot of clients are really hard to get out of their comfort zone when it comes to design. And we experience that a lot when it comes to websites, because websites have taken on a whole nother look in the past probably 5 to 10 years, where it's a lot more dynamic and it's a lot more colorful and it's a lot more bold. So for them, just to convince them that it's a lot different than it was when websites first started. It's not like with the side panels on the, in the old school click over here for the, and then click over here for the blog and all that kind of stuff.
Coding.
Yeah.
I don't do that language, so that's changed.
No, we deal a lot with just, making sure that it's functional, but then also appealing graphically, and making sure that it also makes sense. So there's really a process in it, and I think we do a good job. I think you guys do an excellent job of listening to the clients and really taking what they want to do and bringing it to fruition. But yeah, the websites have definitely been different. I didn't want to do websites in the beginning unless we could do it the right way. So I'm really happy with how we work on it.
Yeah, it took a lot of research for sure to get it really started, because even when I was in college, it's crazy. Even the difference in when Shane graduated versus when I did, still it seemed like nothing really had evolved much when it came to the curriculum in the schools. I still did not learn anything web design related at all.
Wow.
Everything was still very focused on print. I think that's just because the teachers had yet to really evolve themselves yet. And we're still going.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard when you have done something for so long, you get in that comfort zone. I feel like for both of you, because we really came to a spot here as an agency where we were doing so much with our digital arm, and we were having so many requests for clients for websites that it was like, we can't turn it away. Like, we have to be able to help
we
our
had to
clients.
hit the ground running.
Yeah, and both of you really, I think, you hit the ground running. You did an excellent job and continue to do an excellent job.
Yeah, I would say digital is definitely king now. And so I would hope that all of the students who are in school now are learning that, because it was a rude awakening when you get into this business.
Focus on some website, focus on some digital. Yeah, I've had other designers hit me up and they've mentioned, well, I know how to do a website now and I know how to do this now. And you have to change and you've got to learn. And
even if you don't want to, you have to.
Social media ads. I mean, you guys do a lot with social media graphics and ads, and it's all part of that portfolio for sure for a client. You may not feel like it's like you're designing that art, like what we talked about, but it really is. It's part of the brand for the client, so it's equally important.
It's still being graphically pleasing and conveying.
Getting the message across. Yeah, I call things advertainment when it's too pretty, but you can't really get it. It's entertaining, but you don't really get what's happening with it. Right. So it's like, how do we, sell our message or sell our product, but then also, like you said, make it visually pleasing for somebody. So it can kind of be difficult at times. But no, I mean, I appreciate both of you coming and talking to me. Shane, like I said, is the strong silent type, so this is out of his comfort zone, maybe a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Not Jessie, she talks all the time.
Yeah.
She's really good at that. But this is the second version of our second session of Confessions of a Marketer, and we hope you'll keep coming back and learning more about all different things that we do here at the agency. And for more information, there's lots of different ways to get a hold of us, and should be located on our website.
Oh yeah, all the podcasts are up there and all the blogs, and we've got vlogs, and we've got all kinds of stuff. Yeah. So. And
I'm on all of them, so sorry.
Yeah.
But you can visit admarkict.com. Okay, guys, say thanks and bye.
Bye.
Bye.